Good morning, Dana. How are you?
Good morning, Wendy. I am fantastic. We had a little bit of snow here overnight. I know you guys got lots though. Yeah, but it's beautiful. A little windy. So I'm kind of tucked in. We put our gazebo up. It looks amazing. Yeah.
I am envious of you hanging out there. I spent the day outside in my backyard cleaning poop. That's what I do when you have two big dogs,
Yes.
and a little bit of gardening and a little bit of poop in my garden. I got to talk to those animals, but it was a really good day. It was nice to get out but once you stopped, it got cool. Like you really had to
That
keep
was a weird
going.
day, right?
Hmm.
Exactly. Like we were busy. It was shirt off. It was jacket off, then jacket on, jacket off, jacket. And
Yeah.
that's just the time of year, right? It is only May. We can't expect beautiful, incredible weather and snow. Not unusual. I know many times we've had snow at May 2-4 weekends as
Oh
well. So,
yes. Oh yes.
although I can't, as a kid, did you go out camping May 2-4? That's when we were allowed to go camping.
No.
Down south, we always went to our provincial park and went camping and just got annihilated. And so that would be why I'm very sorry to my children today. You can't go camping on the long weekend in the provincial parks and drink. I'm so sorry.
I don't think you can drink at a provincial park anyways, can you?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do, but legally, I mean, yeah, no, I was talking to somebody else this morning too about everybody's kind of hoping that we can open up the camps and I think we'll be able to. I mean, already, the access is there. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's going to be okay for May too far. It's going to be nice.
I
No,
think that James was reading. He keeps up to date on that. It's up to the owner's discretions at the marinas, but I think the government has already, sent that notice out to the marinas to get themselves ready. And I accidentally shared the Ireland release
yeah, I
yesterday.
saw that. I was like, yeah, what?
That's Ireland. I'm so sorry. But if that's any indication of what the other countries are doing, right? Um, that's intense. Like you're talking cinemas and those things not till August.
Wow. What I heard on the news yesterday that Britain, the UK, not the UK, but Britain alone, has higher incidence of the virus and people dying than even Italy now at this point. So it's really still quite bad there. So they really
I would
have to be vigilant.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
At some point we have to we have to exist.
Oh yeah. And I mean, they're not saying not to exist, but the thing is, it's going to be in a different form. That's all.
Yeah. We have to keep, I mean, we already probably, if we're in bigger events or it's flu season, maybe we should have already been wearing masks when we go out. Or, maybe we should have been wiping down the cart better. I know there's, and then not thinking that those people are OCD, but thinking, oh, those people are brilliant. They're wiped down
No,
their cart before they touch them. So we don't think that way, right? We're
no.
all still at play in the mud mentality, which is still good because then you get your natural bacteria and all of that great stuff that comes from the earth, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing though too. I mean, antibacterial soap and cleaners and hand sanitizers and all these things have really kind of sterilized our world a little bit, where like you said, we've gotten away from that playing in the mud kind of immunity. Even just vaginal births and breastfeeding, a lot of, well, not a lot, I mean, I don't know what the stats are for it, but it's these kinds of things that really help to build the immune system and support it right from the start. So over sanitizing, I'm not a big fan of it. It's just a matter of keeping clean and keeping healthy and everything else. But understanding though too that this COVID-19 and the new SARS and the coronavirus itself are mutants of things that we would have been immune to specifically to begin with anyways, and they because of the antibiotic use, the overuse of antibiotics and everything else in our world,
Or the flu
these
shot.
these viruses, what's that?
Or the flu shot.
Oh, or the flu shot. The overuse of this stuff has the bug is like, okay, fine. It's an organism onto its own, and it mutates to be able to survive. It's the survival of the fittest, basically, and it is changing its own structure to be to survive on its own, not realizing that it's killing humanity, but that's just what it is basically. And because we are more susceptible because of, like you said, flu shots and all these other things that are kind of sterilizing us. Not that flu shots sterilize us, but the overuse of antibiotics and different things like that are not leaving our immune systems to be able to thrive on their own. So yeah, it's an interesting time, from a very scientific perspective, I suppose, not to demean the whole aspect that there's a lot of people dying, and that's a tragedy onto its own.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but
So yeah, so you have been following more of the the new videos for Juice Plus or for the Garden Tower. Now, do you remember if they had said that there are payment plans for the Garden Tower? I think that was something we wanted to look up today.
yeah, I believe there is. I believe it's something like $60 a month. I think it's very, very reasonable. And apparently, by the time that you have it a year, it's basically paid for itself in fruits and vegetables, as well as, the whole beautiful tower that it is. I
Right.
have to double check on those numbers, but I believe it's quite reasonable.
Yeah, because even so, the amount of time we're probably or hopefully going to spend here, I don't know. My schedule may change, and I may be on the road again by end of May. But I think we'll be looking at more of a condensed system, and but for here at camp or anyone who spends time at their cottages, I find that the flex, the garden outdoor system, might be of value because it's like looking for space and valuable soil, and being able to utilize that little sunny hotspot that we do have, right?
Yeah.
So I think about that a little bit more because I mean, here I'm already out of spinach, I'm already out of kale, and I'm heading to town today. I'll have to pick up all that stuff. But again, then it comes to spoilage and space in the refrigerator, and what's more important, beer or kale? I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
know. You're at
There's two
camp. It's a hard toss up there.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There's two fridges. We has nothing this week.
Priorities. One fridge for one thing.
Very divided here. Things are in the sand. The line's been drawn. This is this and this. No, but so yeah, I mean, it's an interesting aspect when you're looking at salmonella or E. coli, or the amount of even frozen fruits and vegetables that get recalled. How does that happen? Like, it's craziness.
No, I don't get it. I mean, it's scary because people want to try to eat healthy. They eat romaine, and then that gets recalled for salmonella. And it's like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah,
how?
well,
Like, we can't win. But the thing is, we can, because we have this option to be able to grow our own now, and this is why April was the most profitable and amazing month. I mean, so many people jumped on the bandwagon to be able to grab this home gardening kind of system. And it's so amazing because it doesn't take up any space whatsoever. And you get tons and tons and tons of non-GMO, organic, fresh fruit and vegetables that you get, and you get to pick them at the most ripest moment and the most nutrient dense moment. So even people beyond the salmonella and all these different things that are coming in, these people that eat really well up from the grocery store, the stuff that we get in the grocery store is been picked underripe, and it ripens as it comes to us. So it really is not having any kind of nutrient at
it's
all,
the best.
basically.
Don't forget, it's the best that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so we honor people who are trying to do the best that they can do, because that's what we have, right? So and even if you can't buy organic, that's okay. You have to do the best that you can.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Provide yourself and your family, right? Because it can be really costly. But it's interesting, all these. And so sprouting for myself, the broccoli seed sprouts, oh my gosh, I had to the concept of putting them in a small vessel and keeping them there doesn't work because I find it doesn't get enough air. So I've put them out onto a tray, and they are phenomenal. I mean, I probably didn't let them sprout long enough, but there's, there are leaves, and there's things, there's lots of green chlorophyll, and they're fresh, and you can taste that. So I'm pretty happy about that. So don't be afraid to sprout. I was afraid for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'll do mung beans again, but I'll probably do them in a larger vessel or a tray and try and do it from that aspect. And word to the wise, don't put them all close together. Don't put your sauerkraut and your sourdough starter and your sprouting all in sort of the same vicinity, because I had them in a closed area. No, there's more mold.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I had to toss a batch. So I had to toss out a batch of sprouts because they got moldy. And so the only thing I can figure is that it was that extra yeast in the atmosphere in that area, because I had them kind of in a little closed area to keep warm. Our house is cold. So yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, super interesting. But I'm really excited about really looking at and investing into a tower system. So
yeah, I will too, and guarantee that we are going to take you guys on that journey with us, because we are, both of us are just so pumped right now to be able to get started on this, and because this is kind of our passion. Well, you guys know that.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk about it more on Monday, right, at 2:00.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to be having a webinar, a presentation, basically, just to let you guys know the very deep specifics about Juice Plus, the whole foods. It's a supplement, basically, but it's not a vitamin. It's not a mineral. It's a whole foods product. And we're going to talk about that, and Garden Tower at a lot greater. That's good English, eh?
This time of the morning, yes, good English.
Yeah, it's good English. So yeah.
I know you have all of our little chats, our coffee times on your YouTube channel, right? So
yes, I do.
And how many people have viewed, or how many subscribers?
We have about, I think about 300 now, maybe.
Which is amazing, right?
Yes.
So today we'll be launching the Dana and Wendy Show podcast.
Wow, yay.
I know. It's so much fun to play around with all of these different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's exciting because it's always fun to play around. You never know. Like if you're doing social media and you're doing all this business building, like if you're another entrepreneur like ourselves, you never know. Like maybe LinkedIn would do better, or maybe Instagram will do better, or Facebook will do better. Who the hell really knows, right? Oh, it's just crazy times out there. But the podcast is cool because you can be traveling or in the garden or doing something and listening to things, right? And being nonsense. And that's what I find so fascinating about podcasting, is that I can multitask.
Yes.
And so I find that with my own podcast, the Divine Living, Divine Wellness Inspiring Podcast, is that you can download it or you can listen to it on the go.
Yes.
Right. Or if you have a Google Home, you can just pull it up on the Google Home and listen to them. So I do that with a couple of my favorite podcasters. And so it's that continual being able to listen to things and connect where you can connect better. I miss driving for that. I miss driving to be able to listen to my podcast or an Audible book for that of time. So I find here, if I touch my phone, I get yelled at. So it's kind of like, but I get it. But, or have my headphones in and be raking, then I'm not paying attention either. So.
Yeah, no, and he's just allowing you to have that balance to really, because I mean, I've been talking a lot to my people about putting the phone down and getting that balance. And I think he's just maybe worried about your detoxifying of your media.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it is.
That's exactly. So I think we'll set up times that I'm allowed to be on the phone. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, and it does incorporate boundaries. That's what that's called.
Yeah, it's called boundaries. So I can, when you're talking to people who are, and people may continue working from home
Yeah.
anyways. So like when you're not a non-essential office worker and you can continue your job at home, that's going to be one of the last people that probably go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, try and schedule your day the same way you would in your workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule your coffee break, like set your timer to set an alarm to take a coffee break and get up and step away
Yeah.
and go for a walk or go get
Do a load of
water,
laundry.
go put in a load of laundry. Yeah, exactly. Multitask. But no, I mean, seriously, you would be doing laundry when you get home.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't think that way. You have to
True.
create your workspace. You have to set up better boundaries for success,
Mm-hmm.
right? Same thing with your kids. You need to set up alarms and a schedule and timetable.
Yeah.
If you get all your work done before noon, have at it. It's your day,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And
bonus.
exactly. And I think a lot of parents are sort of finding out that school is very difficult, but also all the schoolwork that's being sent can be done in a couple of hours.
I don't know. I don't even know what it looks like because I don't have any kids doing this right now. So I
Well,
even,
and it's everything will look different when you come back. But when you have a home office, it's like if you don't get to work till 9, then don't start at the desk till 9.
yeah.
Because I'm talking to my cousin who works for CBC, and she's like doing work till 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's a lot of time at the computer. That's a lot of time of you not moving.
yeah.
You need to set up better boundaries because your work will never end. If you're being productive, they're going to throw more stuff at
Oh,
you,
yes.
which is fine. But you have to remember you are only being paid 9 to 5
Yeah.
or however your salary works.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you work for bonus, that's fine. But if you're working 9 to 5, keep your schedule 9 to 5. You
Yeah.
need to spend time with family. You need to spend time with your partner. You need to go for walks. You need to go work out. And I've learned this the hard way, right? Like
Both
my
of us
hip
have.
hurt
Yeah.
from being at the computer too long.
Yeah.
And then you'll also have to remember to protect yourself from EMFs.
Yes.
So whether that's using products like Gia,
Mm-hmm.
that have the little pendants or have little tabs you put on your computer or inlet, things you can plug into the wall to protect the dirty electricity in the house to make it non-stressful for the body. If not, then you look for the crystals, and I can't remember what the black one is. It's a shalamite or
Onyx? No?
no, there's a specific one. I'll have to look
Oh.
it up again. But there are certain crystals or stones that you can use, and not so much the Himalayan salt. That's sort of to just promote that. I can't remember what does Himalayan salt do again?
The negative ions, like the foot detox.
Right. So, it's creating better spaces, but you'll notice your health change from, that type of being in front of and around more often.
Yes.
And really good promoters of healthy sleep habits really recommend shutting off the Wi-Fi in the house anyways, when you go to bed, when you sleep.
My kid would go into detox, like boom, right there.
I know. But that's what we may have with the 5G. And it's not so much, I've listened to different podcasts and seminars about the 5G in that you have to remember, you remember when we had the antennas on the TVs and then you would hold the antenna and put your arm up for better reception. Yeah. That hasn't changed. You are still a conductor.
Yeah, that's true.
The TV waves or the Wi-Fi is still coming into the house from the tower. It has to go through the walls. It has to go through you. So there's all those different concepts and thoughts of you are a conductor just as much as your Wi-Fi receiver or your satellite or those things. So you have to protect yourself just as much. So if you're a super sensitive person who do feel and hear the buzzing lights, there are paints available that you can paint your room and create a safe space. Or if your children are autistic and they have those, they're really affected by too much computer time and you're really concerned about 5G, there are paints, and I'll try and look for that website again. There are paints you can do. It's not like tinfoiling your windows, but it's kind of like tinfoiling your windows. We make fun of the people who always wore the tinfoil hats, but are they? They were
Well, that's
probably
it. Who's the crazy one?
the crazy one now. They would, yes, it's like, we don't know once the 5G is launched and what the side effects are going to be long term. Probably not till our next generation or our grandchildren, people who are going to be born from this point on, or maybe it won't do anything at all.
Well, they say there is studies out there already, the health effects that it's going to actually. I mean, even just the cell phone use. I mean, I have pictures. I don't have it right now, but holding a phone up to your head as opposed to and talking on it for a great length of time. Those EMFs go right into about the level of your nose. You know, that whole section of your head.
A friend of mine, she's a doctor of audiology, and so with the new hearing aids that they have, so they have it Bluetooth, but right to from the TV, Bluetooth to the ears, which is fantastic. So you can actually hear things. And when I get that age, I'm sure I'll be like, yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
But they have it so they Bluetooth one another, so it's going straight to your head. And that was her thought. Like, you want to hear things simultaneously. You want to hear music like it should be heard. You want all of the natural that you used to hear in the first place, which I respect and understand. You want the best that you can.
Mm-hmm.
But what is that? Straight from ear to ear, right through your brain.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
exactly.
It makes you
at what cost?
Yeah, what cost? But when you're that old, or then what, bring it on. I guess it depends on your mentality, right?
Oh, that too. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, well, on topics. So I'll find out which podcast that was about the 5G. I mean, that's amazing stuff, and really great tools and things to consider. Mm-hmm. If those are things that concern you and you want better education about it, GIA does provide great tools, and there are other companies out there too, but GIA is just a great company. It's
been around for a long time, that one.
Yeah. And then the gentleman, and I can't remember what it is, but it's he talks about the paint and talks about protecting your home and even putting
that wasn't Brett Hawes, was it?
Yeah, Brett had a talk about it with a gentleman, so that's what I mean. Brett Hawes, if you've not listened to his holistic masterclass, it's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Big plug for Brent right now, but
yeah.
He's just great. He lives here in Ontario, and he's just great. So, no.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. You ready to go? Okay.
All right. So maybe we should cut it off there so you can get on with your day. And
I have a meeting at 11 o'clock this morning, so I'll tell you about that another day.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting.
So yeah, I need to get in town to get Wi-Fi. I was gonna get Wi-Fi. Did I tell you that? So I was gonna get Wi-Fi here. Gonna get data. Gonna get a satellite or whatever. So if you live out in the bush, ExploreNet is a great option for you, right? But we can't see the tower from here, so it's at the lake, and we can't. I'd have to put up our hill behind us here to be able to see it. So that's an ixnay. So then I'd have to look for a satellite. That's $100 a month.
It's a lot of money.
I think when we retire or we move out here full time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you move out there full time, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
wonderful.
I kibosh to that because I'm not making that right now. So
soon
maybe when we get back to work. So and we're working now. So but yeah, so you still have your I still have my 5-day detox. We're moving right into eating your way to hormone health, talking a little more in depth about what foods to help you, probably a little bit of supplementation to help you with that, and then transition back into thermography, how that's going to help you, and then that whole hormone and breast health and all those things that I'm just so passionate about. We'll be transitioning into later this month, but right now for me, I'm just doing the 5-day hormone detox. It's free. I've got a free 10-day detox, just to kind of boost and start you thinking about better foods. Not so much weight loss, but that recognizing of what foods to include when you're talking about hormone detoxification, gentle increase of fiber naturally, which is so important, prebiotic foods, things like that.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're doing a marvelous job on you're doing health right now for sun.
Well, yes, we're just kind of getting prepped for summer and looking at all the different ways that we can do that through diet and exercise and, you know, some mental thoughts and processes and understanding. And we're kind of ramping up into next week. We're going to be actually looking at a lot of really intense skincare and trying to actually, again, detox a lot of the beauty products out of our lives and looking at more natural things for our skincare. I'm just going to be doing that all next week in my private group. But basically, I'm kind of ramping up to my own cleanse right now. So anybody that follows me knows that I do like a seasonal cleanse or a seasonal detox, whatever you want to call it. And essentially, it's just a whole foods 14-day cleanse that we go through to just give our bodies a chance to rejuvenate and, you know, rest and relax and just be able to come back to the optimal working properties that it has. So, you know, allowing the liver some resting time and the kidneys and everything else, and just, you know, giving our bodies that extra chance. And it does cause perhaps a little bit of weight loss, and it just, you know, like I said, gives the body a chance to rest and to, as we get into the next season. And I like to do that on a seasonal basis as we flow. So doing the fun in the sun this week, we're kind of ramping up to that a little bit with that understanding that we are so totally bombarded with toxins from so many different levels. I mean, we talked about xenotoxins and xenoestrogrens that, you know, really play havoc with our hormones. But this, from this perspective, it's just like everything, the toxins from the 5G, the toxins from all the pesticides and antibiotics and all these other things that really are coming in on, and chemical additives and preservatives and everything else that are in our bodies. And then obviously the mental toxins that we come in with, the negative thought power patterns, and, you know, even just taking in too much sugar, that can be very much a toxic thing for the body. So, you know, just really bringing some awareness and some cleanliness to the body on a seasonal basis. So that's what we're going to be ramping up to, and on my end of things. So looking forward to that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, my battery is low now, so I will off. You guys have a beautiful day. Try and make the most of it today. Maybe some indoor stuff. Maybe just snuggle up on the couch with a nice fuzzy blanket and a good book. Maybe sit with the kids and watch a movie.
Yes, gardening is out of the question today, unless the sun comes out and makes everything all wet and sloppy. But as long as we get rid of that snow, I don't care.
Well, you have a great day. See you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Drive safe.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.